Welcome back to my cave, once again, humans. I wanted to talk about Kirby and the Forgotten Land again. Now that it's out, we know more about the story of the game, so I decided I'd make this follow-up video. Honestly, I feel like I kinda have to after what I said in the first video. But before we go any further, I would just like to say that, yes, there are going to be spoilers in the video. I will give you 3 seconds to click out of this video. 1, 2, 3. Nope, you don't care? Alright, let's go on. Let's talk about the Beast Pack for a moment. As you may know, they are the main villains of Kirby and the Forgotten Land. Except, they're kinda not. The real villain is actually Elphalus, who is Elphalin's partner, or half as you may call it. As it turns out, this creature is actually controlling the Beast Pack for his own needs. In fact, Elphalus even goes as far as to steal pieces of King Leon's soul, and the second half of the game is you actually trying to rescue King Leon, the king of the Beast Pack. And when you think about it, that's kind of messed up. Also, Clawreen, or Carol, the furry stereotype, she actually becomes a good guy in the second half of the story. And the true ending is kind of a Wayne's World style mega happy ending for everyone, including the Beast Pack. The Beast Pack, or the animals, are not the true villains. Leon is being controlled and everyone else is just going along with it. Elphalus is the real villain. And honestly, I was worried this game would take an anti-environmentalist approach, and I am glad to be wrong about that. Also, I need to get this out of the way. I have not played this game. I looked all of this up. My initial rant was more or less a first impressions. And honestly, if I were to go into this blindly, what kind of experience would I have? I feel like my experience would not be good without knowing the context. As I've said in my previous video, what matters the most to me when it comes to a game is the overall experience. And up to key points in the game, I would not be having a good experience without knowing the full context of the game. It's only in knowing the full context of the game do I honestly feel at ease with it. But ultimately, now that I know what happens, that kinda doesn't matter, so... That being said, it still does bother me a little bit that we have all these charming, adorable designs that you have to fight and beat up. Obviously, you don't kill them because the good ending has everyone being buddies, including pretty much every member of the Beast Pack you fought. So, ultimately, no, it really doesn't bother me that much. Like, I was gonna make a video based on Mystic Marsh from Spyro 2, and talking about why that stage bothered me, but I just couldn't. It didn't bother me enough to make a video about it. Spyro is just too far detached from reality for it to bother me that much, and that might be why I'm warming up to Kirby and the Forgotten Land, because it is so far detached from reality. And ultimately, I keep recording lines about the real-world issues that animals face, and using it to explain why it still bothers me, but after that, Big Matt popped into my head and was like, "Girl, stop. Just stop." Ultimately, it just doesn't bother me anymore. It really doesn't. And who knows, maybe some of these characters will appear in a future Kirby game. I mean, if Darwalk could appear as an ally to Kirby in later Kirby games, why not Carol? It would have bothered me greatly if they were all doing this on their free will and weren't just following a leader they thought was still their friend, who was actually being controlled. But considering the story, it just doesn't bother me anymore. Maybe I'll give this game a shot in the future. To be honest, I had no ill will towards the Kirby franchise before this point, and knowing the full context, I still don't. So, I don't know, maybe I'll give it a shot in the future. But, to be honest, I'm more of an indie gamer. I tend to buy more obscure games before I buy the big names, because, I don't know, I've always kind of been a support the small business kind of person. But that's neither here nor there. Alright, I think I've said enough on the matter. Until next time, I'm Baalf, and the cave is closed.